don't have a joke. However, didn't show this last time, and I thought it'd be very, very nice to be able to show it this time. And it's fitting, grand final time. Who knew there is a grand final of this? The 1966 AFL Grand Final on DVD, no less. In my hands, in my possession right now. I've never actually seen the game in full, but I just thought this was just a cool thing to mention.
It's amazing as a Saints fan, you've never seen your only flag.
Because it was in 1966.
You have the DVD.
I got it like a week ago.
I know, but you have the DVD.
I'm not watching a 1966 grand final. As much as it's great that we won it and all, I feel like I would not enjoy that.
That needs to be your punishment or something.
Just sitting down and watching the 1966 grand final. If it was a punishment, you'd make me watch the 2010 replay, which I still, to this day, have not watched all the way through.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched all the 2007 grand final.
Yeah. Once it got to like beyond repair, I was like, I'm not watching this. So turned it off.
I think I left at half time to go down to the park.
Yeah, fair enough.
Kick the footy. Created my own ending.
When I had a very similar experience when the 2010 replay was happening, I remember the final siren going off because my neighbours who were Collingwood fans were cheering, and I was on the trampoline at the back doing wrestling moves. And that was how I knew the game was over, so I could go back inside.
You're wrestling yourself as punishment instead of going back inside and watching more punishment.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd rather get RKO'd than watch a grand final loss. Swanton bomb myself. Oh, you need an attitude adjustment, do you?
Got it.
Well, yep. Smash.
Here at the glass table, we're just like you.
I like to play football, I like to watch football, and I like to talk about football.
Yay! I like to play football, and I like to watch football, and I like to talk about football.
But we do things a little bit differently around here.
That could be a dream, Jared.
Stupid sexy.
Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the episode of the Grand Final. It's episode 99, which is about the same amount of years since St Kilda won a flag. So it's all good in the hood.
59, actually. Thank you very much.
Got the 9 right. Anyway, welcome to the AFL Grand Final preview. It's Essendon. You thought Essendon. That's the only time Essendon will be said in a grand final preview.
Drive-bys.
I had that joke lined up since about 2:00 yesterday. Couldn't believe it.
Fantastic.
Geelong vs Brisbane, and we're here to show you why. Jared, welcome.
Kings of the big game. Yeah, anyway, it's great to be here, having a great time.
How many teams references can we get in?
I have no idea, but we've just mentioned the two that are probably the furthest away from a flag. We're coming back. It's very, very nice to be here. As you mentioned before, you obviously said 99 as a joke. It was actually 59 years to the day, to this very day, since St Kilda won a flag. So we are now, in 3 hours' time, we are closer to the 60-year mark, the big 6-0 of the last time we won a flag, which is very
Anyone
exciting.
alive for the reunion?
Yep, there's a few of them still. There was a few at the Brownlow night the other night, which we aren't going to talk about too much here, but congratulations, Matt Rao. And just very fitting. Love the grand final week. Love everything about it. Kind of boring teams, but anyway. I'm kind of bored.
But they're boring. But we've never had this matchup in a grand final before.
That is true.
Which is quite interesting, considering the fact that they've been the most successful team of the 2020s, probably the most successful teams over the last 20 years anyway. And yeah, it's quite interesting that they haven't made it.
I know. It's like two teams, like the Lions, like made. It's so funny how their paths haven't crossed until now. Like the Lions were
a lot of prelims.
2000s, yeah. And then the Cats had the second half of the 2000s, made a few prelims and stuff in there as well. And then the Lions were pretty bad for like 10 years or so. And what in that time, the Cats were amazing. And they're finally all just caught up to each other. And we've gotten this, which is pretty exciting. That is an exciting part. It just would have been nice to see like anything interesting.
Maybe a Hawthorn Collingwood grand final.
That would have been better.
Actually, I will say one thing. The aesthetics for this game in the crowd are tick of approval. Last year's was a bit mixy-matchy because the red of the Swans and the maroon of the Lions just sort of crossed a little bit. But this is just an all-white, maroon, and then the rest of the Nimrods who are going to be the MCC members just sitting there going, I'm happy sitting there.
The good thing is with that is the MCC is on broadcast side, so you don't have to cop that for a lot of the game. You cop the good side where you cop all the good coloured bays going around. That is something I'll give credit to the Hawthorn Geelong game on Friday was that the coloured bays were looking real good. Blue, yellow, that massive yellow section behind the goals. I was like, fuck, that looks good.
Yeah.
I was all about it. It was very, very nice. So that will look pretty good on Saturday. And yeah, we're big aesthetics people here, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was a real stupid, sexy aesthetic.
I literally, as I was saying that, I was like, here comes the stupid sexy.
Stupid sexy
AFL player.
Yep, stupid sexy this week. Look, it might be a grand final preview. It's still an episode, so we still have to give stupid sexy props. And we're going to combine ours this week because we actually don't have a lot. I will say honourable mention, and I know you can do the stupid sexy, but honourable mention. We talk about the glitz and glamour of the Brownlow, and I just want to give a kudos to all the players and all the suits that are out there. Very similar suits, a little bit of differences here and there. It's all about the wags and how they look and everything like that, and rightly so. They deserve their night.
Mm-hmm.
Just kudos to the men.
Kudos to the men for getting out there. I know that like a lot of them are all sort of tailored by the same people. Like I don't know if you saw sort of pre-Brownlow YSG tailors just basically looked after like 4 different teams. They looked after, it was at least Freo, Carlton and St Kilda were all just YSG tailors. So that's why they all kind of look the same for people that are wondering. There's like pretty much club-based ones. But the suits look nice. They're all well fitted. They're all well tailored. They all look good. Good looking, just good guys all around. And that actually leads pretty much perfectly into our stupid sexy that we have, which a lot of people look the same on Brownlow night, but there was one guy that just stood out a little bit more than a few of the others. And he's a guy known for standing out, I think we can say. And that is Mr. Bailey Smith, who, with the black shirt, went the speed dealers coming into the Brownlow, and he looked good. As much as people want to hang shit on him and everything like that, he did look good.
I've seen those speed dealers before. And it wasn't at 7:00 at night. But nonetheless, you're absolutely right. It looked great. And
he looked fantastic. And yeah, I was all about it.
Bloke.
Yeah.
Forgive a bloke for having personality.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like that's what he's known for. He's about that life. And and especially like with his team playing in the grand final this week, and this could come back to bite him admittedly. But like with his team playing in the grand final this week, usually the teams are very like, you know what I mean? Like they're very focused, and it's like we got to pay attention to the game coming up. Whereas Bailey Smith rocks up on Monday and he's like, nah, fuck that shit. He's like, I'm still having fun. I can do what I need to do and have a blast. The one thing that I will say is, as much as I love the speed dealers, the best thing about Bailey Smith is his eyes. His eyes are very good. And he took that away. He took away the eyes. And I was like, Bailey, you're burying the lead here. What are you doing?
Nothing better than staring at a bloke and being able to see your own eyes.
That was exactly what it was in that orange shade in his lenses.
I like that's probably the cleanest stupid sexy we've had, but also you diving into their eyes and specifics is something new territory for us.
Diving into the specifics of why they were exactly stupid sexy.
I'm all for it. Anyway, speaking of territory, and I can get this. Speaking of territory, and Victoria and Baz and the Cats obviously playing on Saturday. The weather for your state was a long.
Meteorologist Anthony.
I love the bureau page. I can't call
He's a
it
big
bomb
bureau
anymore.
Big bureau man.
I'm a big bureau man, a BBM.
A big bureau lad. You're a BBL. That's what you are, Anthony. You're a big bureau lad. What do you got for us, big bureau lad?
I'm not going to take a swing at it. The weather this week for Saturday is looking very, as I say, tailored. 19 degrees, possible shower. Medium chance of showers, most likely in the afternoon and evening. 40% chance. But it says possible shower. This is why the bureau sucks. But also, what I will say about this weather is whilst it's only a 40% chance of rain, there is a 100% chance my tongue is getting wet from a beer. And we matched on words last year, and I don't know if we can do it again, but it is perfect for conditions for drinking.
Beer drinking weather. I literally, as you were saying that, I was like, I remember last year when we were looking at the exact same thing and it was like 24 and sunny. And we went, you know what that means? What I've determined.
Beer drinking weather.
What I've determined is that regardless of the weather on grand final day, it is beer drinking weather.
All I'll say is that there will be a hand that's like this. Well, that's it exactly. Yeah, stubby in hand, and that's exactly the action. Now, some will go, oh, I might have a can, and that's fair. But as long as you're doing this,
yeah,
you're doing it right.
And it's a brownie golden liquid.
Glad to combine the two because it's definitely a gold liquid.
We'll fight over it otherwise. So a brownie / golden liquid.
It's a golden liquid.
You deserve to have it. Everybody deserves to have it. It's grand final day. It's Christmas for AFL fans. And regardless of what everyone thinks of the teams and everything like that. And I literally said today, I was like, I don't know if I'm that excited for the grand final this year. And like I said, I think it might be because I'm like not a big fan of either team. And I'm like, I don't really know. But I know that it's going to get to Saturday morning. And I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be like, haha, it's grand final day. and everything is nice.
It's nice. You look outside, it's a bit sunny. You can hear the start of the smells of the barbecue rumbling just around the corner.
You can hear someone throwing the ice bag on the deck out the back.
Someone's bashing the ice bag. There's a whiff of grass and a bit of spring about it. You turn on the TV and early footy shows.
Early footy shows. Sunrise live from Fed Square.
Sunrise live from Fed Square. Then goes into what I used to think it was game day, and now it's just the pre-show. And then you roll in, and all of a sudden there's a man on a stage, and his name's Snoop Dogg.
Our man Snoop, who knows as we found out. D-O-G
at the G. Grand final day just spelled out like us. Actually, is picturesque, to be honest.
Yeah, I love it, and that's what I'm saying. It's like Christmas. You know how when you wake up on Christmas morning and you're like, it's that feeling. It's the same thing. You wake up and you're like, you can already smell. It's like a certain smell and a certain feel. Every grand final day is the exact same, and you always get a little bit of nerves, even if your team's nowhere near it. You kind of wake up and you're like, I'm a little bit nervous. Like, what if it's going to be something this year? Like, what if it's a really cool game? What if it's a draw? You know? It's exciting.
Yeah, you're just hoping for one thing.
Yeah,
not a smashing.
And last year we had a massive one, like massive smashing. Stopped caring by like halfway through the third quarter. Great. Year before, great. actually great, really good. Year before that, sucked. So it's like, well, let's just hope.
The one thing you don't want to do on grand final day is collect your car and go through a drive-through.
Mm.
And by the drive-through, I don't mean Macca's. 24-pack, please.
I never ever go through those things except for grand final day. I reckon that's the only time I'm like, oh, yeah, I can probably.
Oh
find
no, I pre-buy because there is not a chance in hell I'm 6 cars deep, desperate for a 10-pack of something and
Yeah.
bottle of vodka or
Yeah.
prepare yourself. Be ready. Wake up. You need to wake up like the Undertaker and just go, it's grand final day.
It's the last Saturday of September.
It's
I
the
gotta be out.
last Saturday of September. I've got to be awake. And it's going to be fun. What we thought we'd do, and if you're watching, you're thinking, boys, can you hurry up and start talking about the game? It's like, well, technically we are. But also, we're not that serious.
No.
So if you're looking for a hardcore analysis, I'm sure there's 17 other footy shows on. But what we want to do, and if you're a Snoop Dogg fan, we guess the set list, because this has been controversial. It's almost very, very funny that it's been controversial for Snoop Dogg right up until the Crows got out.
And now all of a sudden,
And now it's like, I see him kicking the footy at the G. Holy shit, this is exciting. Snoop Dogg is at our ground. What a weird fucking matchup, by the way.
Yeah, that was bizarre. The Dacos and Snoop Dogg was not on my bingo card, but that's okay.
Oh, hey, when I get the Dacos in grand final week, you still got to find a way. I would have had, I don't know. People were like, well, give us other suggestions. Like, I would have put, they're probably just the safest bet, to be honest. I mean, they're not doing another Tuesday.
I think it was like a sponsorship thing. Like it was like a Telstra thing, and I think it's like, I think the Dacos boys might be Telstra or something like that. It's just like a thing.
So the whole fucking joint. AFL players are putting Telstra ads on their stories, doing the walk and the whistle.
That's true. They are always doing.
And I'm just looking at it going, I can't anymore. I can't. Imagine your favourite player is so excited to check their stories. And it's just like, oh, they're doing an ad.
Hashtag ad.
Yay. He posted for the first time in... Oh, no. Anyway, we thought we'd guess the set list.
Yep.
Now, I don't want to do particular order because this is just hard on itself.
I was about to say, I don't want to do a particular order. However, I think there is no chance in hell he does not open with the next episode. I think that's exactly how he opens.
Well, I think so, because I think this is the only chance we'd almost certainly not get Dre.
He won't get Dre.
That's what I mean. So this is how they do it.
Yeah.
So opening with next episode, montaging into Still Dre.
Yep. So there's you two. there's two pretty much knocked off. Although you probably just combine them into one.
That's what I mean. This is the montage, right? So this is the opening. This is how I think. So it'll be the montage. Fuck it, I'm going to do how I think. But then we'll get. Then you can do the order.
Right? I don't think I got the order, but that was the only thing I had was it needs to open in the next episode.
I would go in, montage, next episode, and Still Dre. We roll into probably nothing but a G thing. You have to play that at the MCG.
Yeah, it'll definitely play.
Now, I'm up in arms over a couple, but David Guetta versus Snoop Dogg with Sweat was a banger. I just want to make you sweat. Yeah. There's an opportunity for gin and juice, which wouldn't have a fucking clue what it is.
I was going to say, I think gin and juice goes in. Baker Boy, here's another thing we need to put into consideration here. Baker Boy is sharing the stage with Snoop Dogg at some point.
Why?
Because he just is. I think he does Young, Wild and Free with Snoop.
I did think about that. And
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he joins in with that, and it becomes Young, Wild, and Free.
And then the closing is drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I had Dribble Like It's Hot. I also had Nothing But a G Thing, and then I think Gin and Juice is a potential. But they could finish with Nothing But a G Thing because it's at a G. Like that could be the big thing. But Drop It Like It's Hot sounds like it feels like it'll get quiet after a certain thing, and then you'll just hear like the stew, and it'll just kind of like really laid back in. So I'm excited.
Whatever he does, I think it'll be epic. And honestly, there is a very they talked it up today about the potential of what they're going to do. So I think there'll be a couple of surprises. But I would love for him to just roll out one of the races in his fucking
Yeah,
car.
the lowrider coming out of the races would be fucking sick.
I know you probably couldn't drive on the G with it.
You could drive around the outside where the parade cars go.
I just think it'd be very, very funny him driving on the G.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then drives it.
Like a big like a much bigger stage than we've had previously. Like Katy Perry had a really big stage, obviously.
Katy Perry had the stage length from the G to fucking Marvel, I reckon.
Well, that's what made me think. So, the news reports of recently is that Snoop has used Marvel as his training, his rehearsal, and I'm like, he wanted a big ground to use that on. So I'm like, there's going to be something big happening. So I'm pretty excited about it.
I wonder if he's brought anyone with him.
Well, my thought also is that Bruno Mars is always looking for money and always looking for Bruno Mars is always looking for a way to get more cash. And I'm sure that if Snoop called him and asked him nicely, he'd pop around for a song with Bruno. Would probably not.
Hey, Bruno, if you're watching. Last Table doesn't endorse the views of you need money, but also we're all for you dropping by on Saturday.
Come hang out.
Very funny that is amazing. So yeah, I wonder what happens, but it should be a lot of fun. And that'll build into obviously the biggest game of the year.
Mike Brady singing on stage.
Now we talk about Mike Brady.
Wait. I can fucking hear it. I can hear the ice defrosting. He's coming back. I can hear the guitar start to strum. I can hear it.
Imagine Young, Wild and Free featuring Mike Brady. And they call it Young, Wild and Up There Kazali.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it. But no, the actual game.
Actually, who's your tip to sing the national anthem?
It's a great question.
Was it announced Cody Simpson was doing it before? Or did he just
it might have been announced, but I feel like I only knew at the time. I feel like I just remember seeing the TV and being like, Cody Simpson? So I don't think they might have announced it. But I don't know.
Oh, I've just got it here. They did announce it.
No.
All right. So we got following his performance at the 2021 Baker Boy returns. Yep, that's no worries. Maybe these are Emma Donovan. They're doing it separate.
Fair.
Tash Sultana will form part of Snoop Dogg's band.
Ah.
With a show-stopping guitar performance.
I love how they can call it show-stopping before the show has even started. That's strange.
He's doing a show starting.
Nah, it should be good. Okay.
Having performed at the 2023 NAB AFLW Grand Final, Australian singer-songwriter Vera Blue will return to perform the Australian national anthem.
Sure.
Who's Vera Blue?
Don't know.
Interesting. Mike Brady obviously will return as well for the retiree motorcade.
Of course.
Oh yeah, gonna have to watch that. And Trav will be there. Oh.
Sydney will be there. The boys.
Wouldn't put them in the same sentence, but anyway. Saturday, Cats, Lions. I think what we've witnessed this year between the two has been this build-up of they have such synergy in terms of the way they play that if one team gets on top of another, it's very hard for the other to make it up. We've seen it at GMHBA where the Lions got the jump against the Cats and the Cats could never claw the way back because the pressure was immense. We saw in the qualifying final, the Cats dominate the Lions from the outset and the Lions could never claw their way back. We saw earlier in the year as well that the Lions came back from nowhere, beat the Cats as well at home. They've had countless amounts of classics in the past, but they've never really put on a show. And that's what worries me about these two, is because I reckon if one gets the jump, we're in for a very, very long day. But it also tells me that all the history means absolutely nothing when it comes to Grand Final day, and we could get an absolute classic.
Yes. I was just looking before at, different things, and I was looking at the like odds right before the first bounce kind of thing, and then the ended up result kind of thing. Sydney were favourites last year to win the whole thing. It kind of flops, and it shows just how random it can be. Like Sydney were favourites last year and they won. And they lost, sorry. The Cats were favourites in that other year when they beat Sydney, which was fine. But Brisbane were favourites against Collingwood. It just kind of there's just these, it's so random. Like Grand Final day is literally, as much as it is the biggest cliche in the world, it is just, you just got to run out okay on the day. Anyone could beat anyone on that last day. And I think it's why you see so many blowouts, because on a team on Grand Final day, once they get really put up against it, it is so hard for them to do anything about it, because it's just you get overwhelmed by the crowd, you get overwhelmed by the day, you're like, fuck, I just don't want to get embarrassed on this day, and then you start going into your shell a little bit, and it's just so hard to see. And I think that's why you get so many blowouts. But I think this year has been waiting for a genuine heavyweight match, and they have every opportunity to do so in this one. If this was Hawthorn in there, I feel like they get belted. I feel like Hawthorn get murdered. But I think those two teams can maybe hold their own on the last day. Maybe.
Well, it worries me because if there's a blowout, it's the Cats' way, and that's what I think. And I love the Lions. I think they're my tip for the flag, and I'll be tipping them this weekend because I think you just need to back them in, and they know how to be there. They've been in the last two Grand Finals. They're 1-1, and it's they just know. And this is a dynasty for them, a dynasty. It's so hard to sort of see exactly how this one pans out. This is one of the matchups where I'm like, if it was Collingwood Hawthorn, I'm thinking Collingwood's pressure and ability to run over the top of teams. Ability to really apply that pressure to keep teams away will be enough. Then it's if it's Brisbane Hawthorn, then it's probably similar. Brisbane smash them. Cats Pies, you're getting a classic in my opinion.
Yeah. Cats Pies was a classic, yeah.
And this one I'm thinking, I just don't know. It's kind of a good feeling because it's so hard to predict, but also at the same time, I'm sitting there going, I'm really, really scared this is going to be a blowout.
I'm terrified it's going to be a blowout because last year I had a similar feeling in that I had no idea who was going to win. Lions Sydney, I was genuinely tossing a coin. I was like, I actually don't know who's going to win this game. This year I got a pretty similar feeling, but it's a bad way. Last year I was like, I'm sensing a classic, and then it was a belting. This year I'm like, man, I just feel like one team's going to fucking kill the other one.
I agree, because this is actually one where I'm sitting there going, if it's a stiff arm and the Cats are sort of 20, 30 points ahead throughout the whole day, there's still a sense of, you just never know.
Yeah, the Lions
you just sit there and watch.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's 40, 50 points by halftime, you're going, but they could
Yeah.
claw it back. But it's like very weird, and the only people in the world that are hoping that it gets even larger is Port fans.
Just willing it home.
Imagine if they lose by 120. I might.
You'd celebrate harder than if you actually won the flag.
I'd be cheering the Cats on so hard.
One of the biggest, just in the last quarter, you just in front of the TV, just fucking go, son. Yeah,
I've got a cat scarf with me.
it's so bizarre. But yeah, I would much prefer, rather than it being an absolute blowout at the start, and this is just like obviously second nature, but one of my favorite grand finals, which it probably shouldn't be, is the 2021 grand final, Melbourne Dogs. Because even though Melbourne won by a fucking mile in the end, for 3.5 quarters of that game, it was, or for 2.5 technically, 3 quarters, it was a really, really good game of football. And watching that D's Avalanche was really fun. So I'm more than okay if at halftime there is a goal in this, and then it just blows out after that. Because I'm like, at least there was something, And if there's a goal in it, that means that a team put on an Avalanche in the second half and showed their muscle, showed their fight, and you're going to see some pretty cool stuff. So I'm okay with the blowout as long as I get at least a half of close contested footy.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. I think
Obviously, I prefer it to be close the whole way through, but
I would love for nothing more than the margin to be max 17 points, and the whole day you're just going back and forth, and it's
I
like
would love it to be like 76-70 at the end of the day, and I'm like, yeah, great, fantastic.
I'm all for it. I'll take a low scoring 65 to 56 grand final, but like it's like
all
gripping.
Day. Yep.
I think the thing is, and sort of the summary of the year is we've gotten a final series that's been pretty lackluster in terms of there's been almost games, but there hasn't been. The first week was fun, but it was like besides that Gold Coast Freo game, all the games were there either upsets or you weren't really sure if anyone was going to come back. Semi-final weeks were pretty boring. Prelims were stiff arm games throughout, and it was just like, do we this year get what we actually deserve? And that's an instant classic in the grand final, and give us a beautiful finish to what's been a year of uncertainties and not that good footy, to be honest. Yeah. Or is the season deservedly getting a full stop with what we've had all year, and that's a boring grand final? That's the question.
It's so interesting because like this finals, and like so many people, it's happened everywhere. Like everyone's getting all their finals tips wrong. We've gotten so many wrong in the last 3 weeks because it's just like we just think teams are going to be different. And so like that's what makes me think that because we think it's going to be like this sort of blowout game, maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be close. But there has been one consistent team among all that, and it's the Geelong Football Club. They have just consistently, every time, just said no. Like we are who we are, and we're way better than everybody else. Like even on Friday, when at the start of the game, Jack Henry goes down, you lose Tom Stewart, and it's like maybe look at like the Cats are on the ropes kind of thing, and then you forget that Patrick Dangerfield plays for them. Changes everything. So without getting into my tips, and I obviously know that your team in the lines here, but I don't see a way the Cats lose this game.
Yeah, and that's sort of how I feel as well. I think it's more just backing what I've had all year. And
that's understandable. I would love the Lions to win. Like I'm tipping the Cats, but I think my heart's in the Lions. I'd like the Lions to go back to back.
I just think I've said all year that they'll just time their run, and that qualifying final. And I've said it before, like they've had those losses where it's they sort of have that reset, and they go, oh, that's fine. We'll have a loss, but we'll come back.
Had to show what just had to see what we were missing.
So I think, I think they just have the capabilities to do it. I think they have the X factors: Cam Rayner, Zach Bailey. They have that midfield. Lachie Neale's going to come back in, and they have everything they need. They're probably missing one key forward, and it's like, well, Ty Gallup decides to play a pretty good prelim, and it's like, well, hang on a second, maybe they've got something. They have Harris Andrews down back. Tom Stewart being out for the Cats is huge.
That is huge. That is admittedly huge because now it forces you to play Reece Stanley. Nothing against Reece Stanley. He's probably not a grand final player. Probably not a player that you want in your best team in the grand final, but they're going to do it anyway because, you have to play Blitzarves down back now because that's just how it has to work. So going to be really interesting. That is a big out for the Cats, but they've also proven that they can win without Tom Stewart. He's been really in and out this year with injuries and laid outs and illness and all this kind of stuff. He's been one that's been pretty in and out. So it wouldn't shock me if they know how to handle it.
Who's the matchup for you? What's the matchup that's going to be the deciding factor?
With the Lion, like you said it before, with their key forward status, where it's Logan Morris and Ty Gallup, the guys that aren't those prolific key forwards, they're well on their way to kind of thing. But I think if Jack Henry and Sam DeConing can shut down those two guys and really keep the key forwards out of it, you look at the Lions sort of fleet around them. Charlie Cameron hasn't been good in a year. He hasn't been good since this time last year. So I don't think he's going to damage as much as you can. It is, for me, those Geelong key backs up against those Brisbane key forwards, because I think if you shut them out, it's so hard to do anything else. And Brisbane's midfield isn't the most goal scorer. They've got a few guys. They got guys that can kick goals kind of thing, but they're not fully known for it. So I just think the Cats key defenders do enough to intercept and throw the younger key forwards off their rhythm, and the Lions are going to feel like they have no avenues to goal. So that's my matchup for the day. What is your matchup?
My question is, do the Lions go with Ryan Lester on Jeremy Cameron again? I said in the first final that Brandon Sarsevich is the person to play on Jeremy Cameron.
Yeah.
Because I think he has the physique, he can match him in the air, and is just a better positioning factor than Ryan Lester. Up the ground, sure, let Jezza have his 15, and if he's only kicking 2 for the day, then you're taking that. But we talked about matchups last time. I was like, who's going to match up on Brian Myers? Honestly, whoever matches on Patrick Dangerfield,
good luck.
Petrifying. He's 35 years old. He was almost written off halfway through the year, but he's come back as a forward that's able to go into the midfield and release whenever you feel like. And it's just like, he's explosive still. Still got that pace. He barrels with packs. If I was standing there and I see Patrick Dangerfield coming at me, I'm jumping out the way. I don't want long-term injuries.
No.
But you're right, the matchup's down back and up forward, but I want to see if the Cats tag Hugh McGluggage again.
I think you should.
Absolutely, you should.
Last time, force the Lions into making a change. Force the Lions into figuring it out, because that's what I bet that is all that Chris Fagan is thinking about this week. Is fuck, how do I stop this? How do I get anybody else off the chain here?
You've got it, because Lockie Neal comes back in, and I reckon you throw Zach Bailey in as a full-time mid this weekend. You make Hugh McGluggage, whilst you're sacrificing him, you play him on a wing.
Yep.
Let him be around the stoppages, still be that stoppage player. But if McGluggage is still having that 20 and maybe kicks a snag, then that's better than him having 12 and doing nothing.
Did his job, exactly. Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I just think the fact that the Cats have done that in the qualifying final just forces Fagan to really think about it, which is very, very funny. I'm getting literal deja vu to 2022 when it's a Geelong captain in maybe his last year, one last go at it, takes his side there. Jeremy Cameron leading the Coleman medal, dominating forward once again, doing what he does best. Superstar midfielders, young key backs, everything about the Cats. Reece Stanley in the ruck. Everything about this is just screaming this 2022 Geelong team, where they just went out there and said to Sydney, who had the young key forwards and they had the upstarting midfielders, and they said, fuck off. You are shit. Goodbye. I look across the whole ground and I'm terrified for Brisbane. I'm so scared, because I'm I think the key defenders beat the key forwards. Ryan Lester, sorry, man, you're probably not Jeremy Cameron to match up. You can't put Darcy Gardner on him, obviously. So, it's just, I'm terrified in every aspect for the Lions, because I just don't think they got the measure. I don't think they have it.
Oh,
I
they do have Josh Dunkley, who's the most successful player in recent history.
do love Josh Dunkley. He's a well loved favorite around here.
I, I just can't believe he's played in like this will be his fourth grand final. He's won 2 flags.
And
No,
like,
is this
could have
fifth grand final?
could have been an Essendon player.
2016, 2021, 23,
16,
24.
21, 23, 24, and now it'll be 25. Fifth grand final.
All right, well, next year, piss off, Lions.
No, they're getting the best player in the draft. Don't even worry about them. They'll be right.
Great.
Looking forward to it. But
Which Ashcroft comes through now?
Marcus comes back around for one more go. But like, I think this is going to be good. And yeah, I suppose should we get into some predictions? Do we want to do my niche predictions before we do our big ones? So what I've decided is obviously grand final day. You do sweepstakes. That's another classic grand final day move. But what I've decided we're going to do is
And the drinking challenge, which is not fun.
yes, exactly. So we're going to do our niche predictions. So usually in a sweep, you do your Norm Smith and your first goal. That's usually and the winner, obviously. This one, can you tell me, Anthony, who and what type of disposal the third disposal in the game will be?
I'd love to know who's taking the centre bounce. I'm going with it'll be a handball,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be Dane Zorko. Because what I'm predicting is it'll be a cat's clearance, it'll come down contested work, and then Zorko get the third handball.
I was about to say I've got a whole like scenario planned in my head.
Oh, don't worry, I've seen it. It goes down, gets a tap out, it's a clearance out by Holmes, and that's one kick, and then it's get down, and then it's probably a handball to Zorko, who'll then handball, and then he'll handball to Wilmot, and then Wilmot's got the fourth disposal, which is a kick down the line.
There we go. Sounds good.
That happens, come back here.
Mine is similar situation. Ball comes up, kind of a nothing tap. No one really gets a clear advantage. However, McCluggage storms his way through, gets the first clearance of the game. It's like, oh, this is big kind of deal. Ball comes in, hits front of the pack. Ball then falls to the bottom. Zach Bailey's the first at it, at the feet. Second disposal, out to Charlie Cameron. Fakes the kick for goal, gives another handball towards the boundary line. Don't think it results in a goal in the end, but I think third disposal will be a handball by Charlie Cameron.
I like that a lot. I also can picture Charlie Cameron having the third disposal of the game, but it's just a belly kick high in the air because he's trying to snap it from 50.
And Jack Henry takes an uncontested mark at the goal square. Looking forward to it.
Oh, I love an anticlimax to start the granny.
Speaking of marks, who do you think is going to take the 6th mark of the game?
Now, I've got this scenario in my head. Hope the Cats play tempo footy early.
Couple of chips around the back. Don't worry about it, boys. All good.
Ollie Dempsey on the wing.
Dempsey mark. Okay. I'll put Dempsey wing just to be.
Just Dempsey, wing, mark. Actually, well, it could be anywhere. It could be in the goal square because the bloke floats there.
Yeah, fair.
But that's my tip. Yours?
I'm gonna go with McCluggage right in the center of the ground. My theory here.
Oh yeah, I can see it already.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's like kind of similar to my first thing. Charlie Cameron team will eventually then do it. They end up kicking a point, the Lions, and then the Cats slowly started out of the back line. So a little trip to the pocket, and then they do another little one sort of towards the 50, and then they have to go long down the line. And then there's sort of a couple extra little ones here. Then the Lions get it off halfback. Jasper Fletcher gets it, looks inside and sees Hugh McCluggage do the classic lead up the middle, and he says, "That's me." And he hits him square up the middle.
There's going to be so much to look out for in the first 6 to 8 minutes of the game.
I'm looking forward to it.
Not only am I going to have a multi going, I'm going to have who's going to kick the first goal, Then it's going to be something else. And then I have to look for the third handball and then the sixth mark. And I'm sure you've got another one.
And my last one, everyone talks about first goal. I don't want that shit. I'm looking for the second goal of the third quarter. And if there isn't 2 goals in the third quarter, I'm looking for the second goal just of the second half. But let's say second goal of the third quarter, and then we can figure it out from there.
I'm going to go safe here. I reckon it's Jeremy Cameron.
It's a good bet.
It's yours?
I think the Cats come out at halftime firing. I think it's going to be what I said. It's going to be close at halftime. And then I think the Cats storm their way home from there. And I'm going to go with Max Holmes as a second goal of the third quarter.
Out of the clearance.
45. Storming in from 45 and go bang.
Or he's just gone on an 80-meter bounce run. Just down the wing.
Yep.
Can I throw in a little fourth prediction?
Yes.
Melbourne's weather is quite unpredictable. I'm going to predict there's a shower halfway through the third quarter.
Shower halfway through the third.
So you could just draw a cloud. Some rain.
That means that there had been no rain prior to that. That's what we're specifying. No rain prior to.
No rain prior, but going by the very loose prediction of the BBL.
Yeah.
There'll be a rain halfway through the third quarter. Just enough to make it a bit slippery.
Yep.
But quite interesting.
I like it. Take the key forwards out of the game. Good stuff.
This is going to be an 80-point drubbing, and there's going to be any rain. It's going to be clear skies, and the Lions aren't probably going to touch the ball.
I was going to say, now that we've done the niche ones, should we do our normal ones? We can do the winner, the margin, and the Norm Smith.
Winner, margin, Norm Smith. Jared, you can kick it off.
All right. I've said what I need to say about it. There's nothing else I really need to add. The Cats, for me, are going to win this one. I don't see a way they lose this. I'm going to tip the Cats by 29 points, and I'm seeing some really niche Norm Smiths going around over the last little bit. I'm saying, nah, it's not going to be niche. Bailey Smith's going to win Norm Smith.
I love that.
Yep.
I love it.
Geelong, 29, Bailey Smith.
We're on the Lions by 12.
Nice.
It's going to be a very, very close game. And if the Cats are kept somewhat respectable in terms of their score, say it's a 72-60 game and Jez has kicked none. Harris Andrews.
Fucking love a keyback, Norm Smith. My favorite genre of Norm Smith is keybacks.
Because I'm just seeing, like, the game he had against the Suns where he's taken 18 marks and whatever amount of intercepts he did. Just 20 touches for Harris Andrews, 18 marks.
God, I'm getting fucking Brian Lake flashbacks, like, as of right this moment. Just
yeah, we've seen the best of Brian Lake in a grand final, also the worst of Brian Lake in a grand final.
But either way, it worked.
Harris Andrews.
I like it. That's a good one.
I like my grand final better.
I would also like if the Lions win. While I'm tipping Geelong, I think I would like the Lions to win more than I'd like the Cats to win.
I like it. It's going to be fun. Another grand final. Is there anything else we'd like to add?
I think we're pretty good. Done well.
Do we put a beer on who gets the closest crowd?
Oh, yes. Can I name it 100,000 flat and just be done with it for the day? I feel like if I name 100,000 flat, I'll get pretty close.
Fuck.
100,001.
Yep.
Fantastic. Yep.
Go. Well, that's about it then.
Thanks, everybody.
Good luck if you are a Cats fan and a Lions fan. Good luck to all the fans watching on Saturday. Should be a belter. Enjoy your grand final days. Enjoy the barbecues. Enjoy the beers. Enjoy the multis. Enjoy everything, because after it all, when the dust settles, and that's the Sunday dust too, because we're all quite dusty, there's no footy. There's AFLW. But we've been through a lot as the men's. A lot of time to wait. So do jump on your girls' teams, but also, you know. Oh, to be fair, footy's been done for a while for both of us. So it's all right.
That is why, before we end,
Here we go.
we're back in the boys in maroon. Footy's not done. Woo!
See you next week.